The Holy Roman Empire was neither holy, Roman, nor an empire. Discuss. Actually, have you been thinking about Rome? Let's discuss that on The Tom Kelly Show.
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody, I want you to go to the Tom Kelly Show. I want you all to know about the Tom Kelly Show.
Here we go. Trigger warning. Spoiler alert. I am Spartacus. You are experiencing the Tom Kelly Show. Actually, was Spartacus Greek or Roman? I think he was Roman. Let's make him Roman for the rest of the story. I don't feel like slowing down to Google and fact check. But amazing. I just did an amazing podcast. Sadly, you are not going to see it, people, because I screwed up videotaping. And, you know, when we get into the complications of this damn show, people, I want to go out to Long Island right now. I want to see my nephews. They're running in a track meet. I should have left here an hour ago. I just recorded the damn show because, I don't know, I have ideas. I want to talk, but, you know, anyway, the damn iPhone stopped recording while this thing was still recording the sound. Now, I sound sexier when the equipment is more complicated. I think it leads to higher ratings. What the hell do I know, people? But anyway, I'm actually doing a second take on a show, which actually has affected my energy level because I'm a little cranky now. There's a lot of fun things to talk about. First, just real quick, there's a stand-up comedy show for me, Tom Kelly, headlining Governor's Comedy Club September 29th. Come see it. Check it out. We would love to have you. I actually am almost sold out on the tickets, but I was just joking that with my sister-in-law that I wanted to have the show a month ago when I was really getting a lot of followers from making fun of the alleged Long Island serial killer. And we really had the show about a month too late. And I was telling my sister-in-law, gosh, if only Massapequa could have another accused serial killer, my career would take off. So I'm just saying, Nassau County Police, Suffolk County Police, New York State Troopers, just accuse someone between now and Friday and just let me get a few yucks in and sell out the show. Okay, please, think about it. Think about it. But don't accuse me because I have to be at the show. If I'm in jail trying to prove my innocence, there will be no Tom Kelly telling jokes and, you know, lots of disappointed people. And also remember, whenever I play Governor's Comedy Club on Long Island, that gives me a chance to go see my mom. So if every time you don't buy a ticket to see me at Governor's Comedy Club, you're disappointing my mom. But right now, big topic. How often do you think about the Roman Empire? It's a big thing on TikTok right now. Yeah, it's a big trending topic. It started with somebody somewhere said, hey, take a camera, put it in your man's face, and ask him how often he thinks about the Roman Empire. And you'll be surprised that men think about the Roman Empire much more than women. And if you look at the TikTok trend, that's true. I mean, I'll be honest. I think about the Roman Empire quite a bit. You know, one, because of Jesus. I mean, it sounds stupid, but everybody, if you do Holy Week and you're Christian, you know, you're thinking about the Roman Empire and Jesus. You know, if you do Christmas and that whole thing of, remember, Mary and Joseph had to go from Nazareth all the way back to Bethlehem because they had to be counted by the Roman Empire, Roman Emperor. The Roman Emperor was doing the census, blah, blah, blah. That's twice a year. You're already thinking about the Roman Empire. Me, I think about it on Sunday when you get New Testament readings. If you hear about Moses, I think the Jews, when they were looking for the promised land, were running from Romans. I could be wrong about that one. But they were running from Egyptians. Different. Okay. Anyway, you know, and then also I think about Rome when it comes to real society. I got some deep answers, which I'm going to read in a second here. You know, but yeah, if you think about American society, you know, like you hear about Rome. It was like at one point they had benevolent emperors who wanted to create a great society with roads and this and that and the other thing. And yeah, there was a lot of conquering and slavery and awful stuff like that. But there was something that happened where whatever nobility they had, it got, you know, And you see that even happening with American culture now. There was a time when, being a millionaire was enough. Now we have multi-billionaires. Is that, that's a little much. There used to be a time when we wanted our fellow man to do just as well as us. And, we did for our neighbors to bring up society. Remember, do my part was a big World War II thing. And then somewhere along the line, I'll argue, our leaders became less and less worthy of our trust. Why did we go into Vietnam? Why did we do this? Why did we do that? The war on terrorism, somewhere along the line. And then we get into, your Donald Trumps, your Joe Bidens, I know who I voted for. But I don't think either of the two are the perfect candidate anymore. Like there's no wholesome, I liked Obama, but that's another one. But all that on the side, is there really, is America Rome? And is American about to fall? I had I've said this on the podcast before, but at my college commencement, there was a speaker who said, America will fall like the British and Roman Empire, giving rise to a Chinese empire for the latter half of the 21st century. And God, that just sounded like crazy talk in 1998. But nowadays, I don't know. So yes, I think about Rome, and so do you. Just reading a couple of your instant feedbacks on that you've left on the Tom Kelly Show fan page and in this secret Tom Kelly Show Facebook group. How often do you think about the Roman Empire? Judy says, should I be thinking about it? My brain is filled with other things. No room for extra data. Andrew Tavani says, a lot more lately now that everybody's asking about it. But in general, I'd say roughly 2 to 3 times a month. Katie Gorski, second cousin Katie Gorski, if not second cousin once removed, Katie Gorski. Daily, usually on a road that's crumbling, and I'm like, before this modern technology, those Romans had way better roads. I also think of aqueducts regularly. Ryan Kitchell thinks about the Roman Empire when doing D&D games, Dungeons and Dragons games. Our friend Steve Berger, whenever I watch anything about the government on the news. Then we have Chris Vitro says yes, because he's watching Rome on HBO. Jesse Prisco says no. Jim says every damn day. Another guy named Joe says not even when I'm in Rome. And then Enza says daily, especially when I think of art, architecture, plumbing, engineering, and feats of strength. But I'll say the most thoughtful answer I have on this is my friend Matt St. Pierre, who I don't even know if he listens to the podcast, but he comments all the time. Matt, do you think about the Roman Empire? Matt says a couple of times a year. Why? Because it was a great society that had profound impact on the world until, like all great societies, ran its course, became corrupt, and was demolished. It was kind of like our society now. Once great, became corrupt, and is in the last of its glory days. I'm hopeful that out of its ashes, a new and improved society will rise like a phoenix. Heavy, but I agree with whatever the hell you just said, Matt St. Pierre. And my friend Rob from Levittown, he wrote a beautiful answer that was sort of along the same lines, used the words patriarchal paradise in a complete sentence. Anyway, Matt's answer was perfect. And I thank you all for your comments. All right. Again, I should be at a track meet watching kids run track. It's their first track meet too, but I'm entertaining you guys. Again, but I sound sexier when I do the podcast like this, when I record the sound on the Shure mic. I just spent $500 to be able to do a mobile podcast, but this sounds sexier for the audio consumers. All right, we did the Holy Roman Empire, Yom Kippur. I'm recording this on Yom Kippur, the holy day of atonement for my Jewish friends. It's the day, Yom Kippur is the day where my Jewish friends, atone for their sins and the people they've wronged. And all I can say is there's a few of you who owe me a phone call. That'll be a TikTok. Now, final big climax, ladies and gentlemen. I've been wanting to tell this story on the podcast for a while. The title of the story is Someone Stole My Dead Dog on the Long Island Railroad. My mother has a friend who has a friend. The friend has a daughter who lives in New York City. She's dog sitting an elderly dog that lives in Massapequa, Long Island, in her apartment in New York City. And then the elderly dog died an hour away from the dog's home. My friend calls the owner of the dog and says, hey, your dog died. What should I do? And the owner of the dog said, could you do me a favor? Take the dog all the way from New York City back to Massapequa, Long Island, where we can bring the dog to the vet, and the vet will cremate the dog and we'll take the ashes from there. Now, my mother's friend's daughter doesn't have a car. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't want to pay for a taxi cab. So she gets a suitcase and puts the dead dog, and it's a big-sized dead dog. She puts the dead dog into the suitcase, brings the dog from her apartment all the way to Penn Station to take the 1-hour ride out to Massapequa, Long Island. Now, while on the train, this woman hears the worst thing a Long Islander can hear while on the Long Island Railroad. Change at Jamaica. So the girl then takes the suitcase with the dead dog out to the platform on Jamaica, and what you have to do then is go up this staircase, walk across a platform and down another staircase to get to your train. This girl is struggling with the suitcase, and a man says to her, hey, do you need help with that bag? And the girl says, yes, I do. So she lets the man carry the suitcase with the dead dog up the staircase, and she's walking behind him with a couple of other bags. And then suddenly, the man gets to the top of the staircase and then starts running with the suitcase and the dead dog inside. The man has no idea there's a dead dog in that suitcase. He just thinks he's running away with 100 pounds worth of stuff. Now, the horror of this story is, imagine this thief opening the suitcase and finding a dead dog. And then imagine the horror of the poor owner of the elderly dead dog thinking that her beloved elderly dead pet is sitting in a cheap piece of luggage lying on a side street somewhere in Jamaica, Queens. I don't know. I've been wanting to tell that story on the podcast for quite some bit and didn't quite get to tell that right. All right. Wow. Actually, this podcast is going quicker than the other one. I don't know if I paused for more laughter on the other one. Pardon me while I put on my glasses. Actually, I had a moment. With my glasses. I have very dry eyes right now. And so much so, has anybody ever had this, that when you're sleeping, you feel like you can't open your eyes because your eyelids are like glued shut? I've been sleeping with teardrops sustain on the side of my bed for a couple of weeks now. I'm actually going to make an ophthalmologist appointment, except that I've been lazy about making an ophthalmologist appointment. So the funny, though, is as I'm also trying something starting today where I'm going to cut down on my allergy medication. I'm cutting my allergy pills in half. And while I'm cutting my allergy pills in half, I was looking through Instagram and I saw, my Instagram crush of the week. And in the picture she posted, she was looking gorgeous. 30-something-year-old woman looking gorgeous in a leather pants, leather top, showing midriff, and she's at Fashion Week, and I'm thinking, I am right now looking at this picture while I am cutting my allergy pills because my eyes are as dry as my grandmother's vagina. I am not a match for this woman. I just wanted to use the phrase, my eyes are as dry as my grandmother's vagina. All right, that's the Robert Loggia accent. My grandfather was convinced. My grandfather thought that my grandmother's great aunt had a dead husband who had a brother who had a cousin who was Robert Loggia. So I love Robert Loggia. He was like an 80s and 90s and early 2000s mafia actor. He was in Big. He danced on the piano with Tom Hanks. But I love to do this voice. I am Robert Loggia. And there's a great Family Guy impersonation of the guy where he has to spell his name on the phone, and whoever the impersonator is, my name is Robert Loggia. R as in Robert Loggia. O as in, oh my God, it's Robert Loggia. All right. I added a minute to the podcast telling that story. That's going nowhere. But that's it, folks. Oh, and the last one. This has been on my desk for a while, and I've wanted to tell this story. If you guys can see it, it's a little button, and I've had this on my podcasting desk / kitchen counter since September 11th. And the reason why is, this is my advice. I did this on the evening of September 10th before going to the firehouse with my dad on September 11th for a memorial mass. Field test your outfits. And this is the first time I've ever planned ahead, and the first time planning ahead for me has ever worked out. I tried on a pair of slacks, khaki slacks, and I buttoned, and poof, the button popped off. And I knew to do this a day ahead before taking the pants somewhere else, because if the pants had popped when I had gotten to my destination, I had nothing. It would have been like khaki shorts, or something like that. So a public service announcement from your friend Thomas J. Kelly. Field test your clothing. All right. That's enough of a podcast for you guys. Listen, you have a lot of options, people. You have a lot of options when you do your... when you listen to podcasts. I mean, geez, I know like some of you listen to a lot of podcasts. Our friend Dan, my friend Dan, he listens to literally, I want to make sure this thing's still recording. Oh, I'm going to be really pissed if it's not. I'm going to be really pissed. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness the camera's still going. I was about to throw a brick through a friggin' window. But my friend Dan, he listens to like 6 podcasts a day at 1.2 speed. Listen, there are moments where I'm like, Dan, why are you listening to me on Fast Forward? But I'm delighted to be in the rundown. So a quick shout outs, quick Instagram. Oh, what am I doing? Quick magic mirror. So let me do my magic mirrors. Magic mirror time, ladies and gentlemen. Magic mirror time 2. Mike Kalura, who is sending me notes on Instagram. Magic mirror time to Emma. Magic mirror time. I see Will Vote, David Brody. I see Lori Klein. I see Rachel Perlman. I see my friend Tara, and I see you. New podcasts every Monday and Wednesday. And this is the podcast where you have a friend who's going through a transition himself, and I'm there with you. Do me a favor. Show love wherever love can be shown. And good night, Rome.